You know that feeling when someone you care about starts to drift away? It's not loud, it's not sudden, it's a slow, quiet slipping through your fingers. They don't say it, but their actions speak volumes. Short replies, longer silences, smiles that don't reach their eyes anymore. What once felt like connection starts to feel like distance, and you feel it deep in your chest, that ache, that confusion. Your instinct is to reach out, fix it, hold on tighter. You want to explain yourself, prove your worth, bring them back to how things were. But here's the hard truth. The more you chase someone who's pulling away, the more they withdraw. It's not because you're not valuable. It's not because you messed up. It's because they've become used to having your presence without effort. You were showing up every time without them needing to earn it. And when love or attention is always available without boundaries, it becomes easy to overlook. People stop noticing what's always there. This isn't about being cold or playing mind games. It's about reclaiming your power, that quiet, grounded power that doesn't beg, doesn't plead, and doesn't run after people who have already turned away. You don't need to convince anyone to stay. You just need to understand that your presence is not a guarantee, it's a privilege. And when you stop giving it freely, when you allow the silence to do what words can't, something shifts. They begin to feel your absence. They remember your energy. You become a man who's felt, even in your silence. A man whose worth doesn't waver when someone leaves, because it was never dependent on their validation to begin with. You don't chase. You become the kind of man who's missed the moment he's gone. When someone begins to pull away, our first reaction is often to defend them in our minds. We start crafting gentle justifications for their distance. Maybe they're just overwhelmed. Maybe life is hectic for them. Maybe they don't know how they feel. But if you look closely, the truth is rarely about confusion. It's about comfort. They become comfortable in the certainty that you'll be there no matter how little effort they give. Your loyalty has become predictable. Your presence has become expected. They've stopped working for your attention because, in their mind, they already have it locked in. And when someone feels that level of certainty, they lose appreciation. That's how connection fades, not in a moment, but in the quiet erosion of effort. The real danger isn't their confusion, it's their complacency. So, what do you do when this happens? You don't chase. You don't plead. You don't pour more into someone who's already overflowing with your energy. You interrupt the comfort. You pull your energy back, not to punish, but to protect your value. You stop explaining. You stop overextending. You create space. And in that space, you allow them to feel something they've taken for granted, your absence. And that absence will echo. It won't be loud, but it will be deeply felt. Because when someone who was always there suddenly isn't, the silence becomes undeniable. That's when they realize what they've lost, not through confrontation, but through contrast. They remember how it felt to be pursued by you. They notice the void your presence used to fill. That shift in energy is powerful. It says, I was here because I chose to be, not because I had to be. And now, it's who's differently. You're no longer the easy choice. You're the one they should have worked to keep. One of the quietest ways connection dies is through predictability. It sneaks in without warning, without argument, without a dramatic event. It's in the repeated patterns, always texting first, always being available, always showing up, even when they don't. You tell yourself you're being loyal, consistent, loving, but deep down it's a form of self-betrayal. You silence your needs. You abandon your boundaries. You make yourself small just to be kept around. And while you might think this devotion will make them stay, the truth is, it often does the opposite. Predictability kills curiosity. When someone knows exactly how you'll respond, exactly when you'll reach out, exactly what you'll tolerate, there's no room left for mystery, no spark of uncertainty that keeps things alive. Humans are wired to seek contrast. We crave tension, not chaos, but that electric space between knowing and not knowing. When you become too predictable, you become emotionally flat in their world. The solution isn't to play games, it's to become whole. You start by pulling back, not to punish them, but to remember yourself. You stop being so accessible. You stop showing up before they even notice you're gone. You let your silence ask the questions your words never could. You give them space to wonder where you stand, what changed, why the energy that once flowed so freely now sits still. This is where real power begins, not in chasing love, but in becoming valuable again, by reclaiming your edge. Let them sit with the absence. Let them lean into the confusion, because that's when the gravity returns, not because you manipulated the moment, but because you stopped being the predictable option and started being the man they can't quite figure out anymore. And in that space of uncertainty, attraction quietly wakes back up. Your energy is always speaking, even when your mouth stays closed. Long before you say a word, long before you post something or send a message, people can feel the shift in you. It's subtle, but it's real. The moment you start pulling your energy back, when you stop reaching out, stop reacting, stop feeding a one-sided connection, something powerful happens. The silence you leave behind doesn't go unnoticed. It becomes louder than any text you could have sent or call you could have made. They'll feel it in the quiet moments, in the space where your attention used to live. And no matter how they act on the surface, whether they pretend they don't care or post things to seem unbothered, they feel it. They always do. But here's the key. You don't make your absence a performance. You don't disappear hoping they'll chase you. You withdraw to protect your peace, to protect your energy, to return to yourself. And in doing so, you send a message that words could never capture. You say, I'm not here to beg for a place in someone's life. I'm not here to force love or loyalty. I'm here to honor my worth, even in silence. You stop over-explaining, stop proving, stop engaging in emotional cycles that go nowhere. You let your stillness speak. You let your calm be your response. And when they check your page or scroll past your name in their contacts, they'll feel it. The absence of your effort, the strength of your boundaries, the peace you built without them. That's the shift. That's the moment they start to remember who you are, not because you reminded them, but because they finally have space to miss what they once took for granted. And the most powerful part, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. This part of your life is not a waiting room. It's not a place where you sit, hoping they'll realize what they lost and come running back. It's not about silence as a tactic or pretending you've moved on while secretly checking your phone, hoping for a message. That mindset keeps you stuck, frozen in place, dependent on their return to feel whole again. But healing doesn't happen there. Growth doesn't happen there. What changes everything is realizing that this space, right now, it's sacred. It's your rebuilding phase. Not rebuilding for them, rebuilding for you. It's where you develop new habits, sharpen your focus, strengthen your mind, and care for your body. It's where you become the version of yourself you were always meant to be. The one who doesn't rely on someone else's presence to feel complete. And here's the paradox. The very moment you stop needing them to come back, that's when they start feeling your absence the most. Because need repels, but peace attracts. The moment you let go of hoping, of waiting, of checking if they've seen your story or liked your post, something shifts. You become magnetic. Not because you're trying to be, but because your energy has changed. You've healed to the point where their presence is no longer a necessity, it's a choice. And if they do come back, you don't jump, you don't celebrate. You assess. Have they grown too? Are they showing up differently? Or are they just circling back to something comfortable? Because you're not the same man anymore. The version they left behind no longer exists. Now, you operate at a higher standard, a deeper level of self-respect. And that's what this journey was really about, not making them regret leaving, but making yourself proud you kept moving forward.